Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Virginia Killmore, and welcome to my studio. Today's card is Case a Card Monday, which means we're casing or copying a card that I've seen or made before, and that's exactly what we're doing. I'm going to take a card I made a while back and change it up. I'm very excited to be using Artistry Blooms paper, which is a paper I bought. I absolutely love it, and it's so bright and colorful and just what we need right now. So let's get started. So isn't this card so pretty, so bright and cheery? We need that right now. It's been sunny a couple days this last week, so I am hoping that it starts to be a trend. My son is starting to do maple syruping. It's that time of year when we're dying to get outside and get some fresh air. So this is Artistry Bloom paper, and I love it because it goes, look at how many colors it goes with. And there's two sides, a lot of ombre happening, so it's hard to see in these cutout pieces. And then there's also texture and pattern, which I love. So we're going to be using that, and we're also going to be using Dragonfly Garden just for the sentiment. But the card is super easy to do, and you're going to start out with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Actually, it's not Whisper White, it's called Basic White now. I have to remember that, 16 years of calling it one thing, and now I have to call it something different. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down and set this aside so that it's, nicely glued down when I'm done. I always like to use my bone folder to sort of squish all that glue and really get it in place where I want it. Okay, and we'll set that over here. And now I'm going to bring out some of the I don't know if they're called trapezoids or whatever. It's never good in geometry. But I'm going to show you how I cut them. I cut them with the Taylor tag punch. And when you get to the end here, sometimes it's hard to get a piece right out of the end. But the nice thing is it fits right in with a pattern. See how it sort of kitty corners there? So you can get that to work. I guess I need to zoom out, don't I? Oh, I guess I am zoomed out. It's just the paper's so big. So now I have enough pieces to put my card together, and I need to sort of lay them out. And my suggestion when you do this card is to do that first. Now these are some leftover pieces that came from the original. And I'm just going to start laying them where I think I want them. Just playing around with color and pattern. Kind of don't like this piece, so I'm going to put that there because it's going to get covered up. Some of the patterns I really like. I'm so fussy about patterning. I love this piece. I think that's so pretty. You see how some are going to stick off the edges, and we'll cut those and use them to fill in some of the spots that are not quite right yet. But I'm sort of just getting it started and getting it laid out. This piece will fit in very nicely either here, or I could do this. I just have to decide. Now if I just move this over a little bit more, I don't even need to put that. So I'm just going to make that adjustment. So I don't need to add that piece right there. It's almost to the edge. So I'm just making some minor adjustments of my layout so that everything lays nicely. And what you want to do is start from the center and glue out, because then you can make adjustments. So this is my first piece, so I'm going to get that down first. Just get it exactly where I want it, and everything's going to build out from that. So now this piece has to come down here. And I just come up with an arbitrary number. Now, I could use a ruler. I am not that kind of a person. I'm sorry, I just don't care that much. It's not that I don't care, it's just that I think handmade things are not always perfect. And we look for perfection all the time, and we end up not doing stuff because we're so worried about it not being perfect. So I just said to myself at one point, get over it, just do it. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty happy with it, so. Okay, that's a little crooked, so here we go. Okay, this one now. Now I'm just putting glue on the surface and just trying to lay that in place and just trying to visually line it up. It is not by any means perfect, but that's okay. That's what makes it interesting. I think I'm going to take this one down here. I need to change up where my bright purpley colors are. So you see how I'm just sort of creating these little gullies, not too worried about how perfect I'm doing. Kind of like that there, better. Okay, we'll do that. We want to make sure if we have glue on the back side that we don't hang over, because we don't want glue all over the outside of our brush. Let's see, is everything down? Not quite. I'm going to put this one up here. I love the brightness of it. Looks like that one's not down either. Just sort of checking each one for it laying just right. Again, notice how little glue I use and it's not perfectly laid out. You know what, I just realized I did something a little different, so I'm going to change this up real quick. Guess what? We're ripping this off. And if it ruins my paper, I just get another piece. This was a trick that I came up with that I really liked. And I forgot that I needed 2 pieces of Night of Navy. Oh well, stuff happens. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece in here. I don't know where that little piece I had earlier is, because we need a couple of those. I think I like this here. Where did my little piece go? Oh, it must have fallen somewhere, but that's okay. I can change it up because I'm going to be cutting this when I'm done. And if I need more pieces, I'm going to have plenty of extra pieces. I need a piece right here. Okay, so I pretty much have everything in its place. So now what I'm going to do is actually trim this. And when I trim it, I'm going to actually trim it smaller than the background of this paper. So we have to do that again. So I'm going to have to get another piece of paper and another piece of Night of Navy and get that glued down. Let's do that so that it's all set for our card. I just didn't think that through when I was prepping for class today. That's good because that piece has a few minutes. Oh, there's the piece I was looking for. It's always that way. It probably was right in front of me, but I couldn't see it. Okay, so now let's trim this. We're going to trim off a little bit all the way around. I'll try to get as much of this off as I can without going all the way through. Okay. And I think the easiest way is to first just trim it with your scissors. The reason being is we're going to want to trim it in the cutter, and all these little extraneous parts make it hard to get a good corner. And if I cut a little bit of the blue, don't worry about it because I'm going to be trimming it off anyways. Just trying to get it off of here now. I love the pattern of this. Okay, so now we've got plenty done. That looks like it needs something both here and there, but I'm going to trim from there so it won't be so noticeable. So let me get my little trimmer. Here's my trimmer right here. I'm going to trim it down to approximately 4. I'm going to take a little bit off all sides just because I want to try to clean up a couple spots. So this is going to get down to 4. And then I'm going to take it all off of here. So I'm probably only going to have to put a little bit of glue in one spot. Okay, see right here? That's the spot that needs a little piece. So I am going to just glue that little piece right there. It's so tiny, it almost is not noticeable. I could almost make this 1/4 of an inch smaller and be just as happy. Let's do that. Let's go down to 5 1/4, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. It's just a tad. It's an 1/8 smaller, but it sort of takes care of. I'm going to take it off this side so it's even less noticeable. So you see how I'm solving a problem? That's why I love stamping. Something doesn't go right, I have to figure out a way to solve it, and it's pretty easy. So now I've got this all set, now I just got to decide how I want it laid out because I want that covered up. So I'm going to put this on here, and I actually like how much bigger the blue is. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Okay. Pull them all off. Now all I have to do is line it up nicely. Make sure I have the right side of the card. Okay, that's the other thing I tend to do is glue it down to the wrong direction. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Oh, I love how bright and happy this card is. We need happy thoughts right now. So now all that's left is the sentiment and the bow. So the background part is cut out of the 2 1/4 inch circle, and I'm just going to punch a circle out. Not much to that. And then this other piece is stamped and then cut out of the 2-inch circle, which makes a perfect, what do you call it, a perfect frame. Some days the words escape me. You know what? I have Misty Moonlight out, and I want Night of Navy. So I'm going to get that. Because I want to stick to the same colors I've used. It's very slight difference, but I think it will pop more. And now I'm going to use that circle, punch, and punch that out. And I'm ready to put this card together. I'm going to glue this down and then make my bow while it's drying. Sometimes I like to flip it over, but every once in a while when I flip it back, it's not quite centered, and then it drives me crazy. So I want to do a bow that has lots of layers. Now I can use the bow easy for that, but I find it so easy to do a bow with this twine. I'm just going to grab 3 lengths of it and go ahead and cut it. Oops, got not my cloth scissors there. Okay, and I'm just going to make my bow by hand. I'm going to first of all make that loop, and then I'm going to twist that just to make it a little bit easier to go around, and then hopefully I can pull it through. I saw someone today use a dental floss tool to make a bow, and I thought, wow, that's a great idea, except for I don't have that dental floss tool. Okay. Just got to get over that one little hump. There we go, I think. Let's see. Oh, some days. Okay, we're starting again. Just going to start again because sometimes that's just what you need to do. So you're going to make your bow. The reason I don't twist it is because if you do twist it, you're going to end up getting just really funky little, but I can twist it when I go around. And then the thing is to make sure you get that bow out of that little loop there. I got it this time. Now I just make minor adjustments till I'm happy. Just pull that out. Bows you do have to fiddle fart with a little bit. People don't love to do that, but that is the process. And I was always really good at it when I had my doll business because I wanted my dolls to be perfect. So there we go. I'm happy now. I say that as I'm still fiddle farting. Okay, so now I'm going to take my glue dots. I'm going to put 3 on the back here. And this card is very similar to a Christmas card we made, but we did it in the opposite direction and we changed up. We had solid areas. I used this crazy pattern all over. You know what? I'm liking it better here. So there you go. You think you like something and then you change your mind. I'm going to pick up with a glue dot my bow. And if I wanted to, I could add some bling to it, but I think I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm going to be blingless today. I really like it a little higher. I don't know if you can see that from the side. It just adds a little bit more definition to it, and I really like that. It just looks like it took a little more time, and having the wider edge is really nice. And it solved a problem for me that I didn't have to end up doing some, you know, jerry rigging with that, trying to get the piece to glue on that was super tiny. So I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is my class, is Coffee and Cards at 10:30. It's a live event, so it won't be on at 1 o'clock, but 1 o'clock you should see posted my Tuesday's tips from Instagram. So I'll show you that on Tuesday. Hope you have a great day and thanks for watching.